Hi, welcome back to Shed Talks Live. We are about to get into our second episode where, in the time while I wait for my girly to get done with this annoying job, I am going on a TikTok rabbit hole since she got me to join it and actually start using the Cursed app. So today I'm going to be getting into Tophiachu. Please let me know if I'm mispronouncing it. I only stumbled on her today. And I didn't even actually stumble on her, I stumbled upon Squid. So for any of you guys who watched my last video, Tophiachu is basically everything that people were accusing Callie, the flower girl, of being. Excusez-moi. And if you don't know that whole story and would like to, go check out my last video. But so today we're going to get into Tophiachu, or I think she also goes by Tofu or something. They are a TikToker famous for going on live and talking about how bad their life is, but also how much they love living the way that they do. They are known for like constantly using a green screen. Like there's videos of them going on live and like yelling at their mom, talking about how they don't need to work, how cost of living is super high and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't watch their videos. I stumble upon Squid's videos today and sent me down this rabbit hole. So if you are here from Tofu's page and I'm getting any of this wrong, cool, let me know. I didn't watch that many of their videos because I didn't want to give them a bunch of views. Though, it seems that they just a lot of ranting to the screen. I did watch the two most recent videos, and like it just a lot of screen ranting to summarize their content. So, you know, don't waste your time trying to figure out anything super exciting by scrolling through their page and giving them more attention. But I stumbled upon Squid's page where they were talking about how, hey, if you know who such and such creator is, I work at the hotel or the motel that they've been staying at, and they're about to get kicked out, or they just got kicked out, for, I think, non-payment of the room was the final reason as to why they got kicked out. They did not get kicked out due to the state of cleanliness, though it was definitely within concern. And their reason as to why they couldn't pay their rent was that TikTok couldn't pay them. That TikTok didn't pay them on time or something like that, or that they just didn't make enough money from TikTok. After they got kicked out, apparently they stayed in the parking lot, just moved their car just to the outside of the parking lot, and the elderly mother was seen defecating on the sidewalk in front of the motel. And so that just kind of like set the scene of, oh wow, this story's about to be gross. So, as I got into it, apparently on their side of the story, they were sitting there talking about how they had like a cleaning lady, a maid, and claimed to be in like some sort of like apartment living situation. There was just a house, there was a housekeeper at the motel that they worked at. It was the lady that was making these videos, Squid, and they always refused her service. Apparently only ever asked for bed sheets. And apparently when Squid went into the room after they had been kicked out to go through, check all the cleaning and probably have to go in and clean up after their mess, took some pictures, which I'll leave a second to throw up here so I can roll through them all. And some of you guys are probably going to be saying, oh, well, that doesn't look that bad. These, my house gets worse than that. You got to remember, these are motels, and motels, are going to start from pristine. Typically, like, they have a standard of clean, or pristine. I gotta add the air quotes, because hotels are not clean, and this isn't a nice, fancy hotel. But I promise you, it didn't look like that when they moved in. And depending on how long they stayed there, I haven't quite figured out that. And if anybody knows, please share in the comments below how long have Toph and her mother, and I think there might be one other person, have been staying there. And it seems like, well, actually, no, it's acknowledged that they had already received a clean notice, which means you will be kicked out if the condition of your room does not improve. So they had already had to go in and clean their room to a certain level to avoid being kicked out. And so when you're looking at it, it's like, this isn't that bad. It's not that bad. It is literally the bare minimum to not be kicked out of a janky motel that apparently is the place that prisoners are sent after being let out. And there was a dude caught jacking it in the courtyard not that long ago, as well as a pedophile arrested recently there. Like, it's not, like, top notch by any means. But that also means that their standard for, like, nastiness is also not like, oh my god, they're not expecting perfect. That is what they let pass. So there seriously was like a just crazy amount of living in neglect, which for me personally, I feel like the greatest point of concern in this whole story is her elderly mother, but then again, also she's an elderly mother living with her child, and this is some long-learned behavior and patterns and a lot of trauma and stuff. But rather than donate to them like so many people have apparently done, and part of why she's able to fund her lifestyle like this, I would think, oh, well, what sort of resources does she have? And this is something that Squid actually did in her videos and goes through and gives some examples of resources in their area that they know are available, work, and are something that they could have access to but are not utilizing. because after they were kicked out, they actually also continued to stay in front of the motel just outside of the parking lot for several days. They had... Okay, yeah. They only ever wanted sheets, and they refused all other cleaning. Apparently they had complained about roaches in their videos on their own TikTok, but apparently when the room was inspected and stuff like that, they kept old and expired food out on the counter, which, you know, that's how you get the roaches. Now, after all of this had come about, that they were evicted from this place, they began to threaten Squid, the housekeeper, who had gone on her own TikTok and acknowledged this. And for those of you who might be concerned, don't worry, Squid still has her job and actually the full support and backing of her company as she comes out about this story, because, yeah, the motel was sick and tired of them too. They destroyed one of their rooms, and apparently they also had constant complaints from the guests, but we'll get into that in just a second. When she went back in to further inspect the room, one of the things she noted was just how much the room smelled like piss and grease. There is a picture in particular of a light bulb that is just absolutely coated in grease. And that's one of the things to me that is like, how long were they staying there? Because how do you build that much grease up on a light bulb in a short amount of time? Even an extended amount of time, what are you doing? It is disgusting. Like, I love cooking greasy food. I cook greasy food in my house all the time. The light bulb over my stove does not look like that. What is going on here? Apparently a couple days afterwards, they still parked up the street, and by the defecation following their eviction, they, it's several days. Apparently they filed a false police report, it's assumed, or it's stated that they were going to file a police report against her for defamation. But again, none of this is defamation. This is all completely legal. You're not defaming anybody by telling the truth. Squid actually did file a report because they kept defecating on the sidewalk and have an elderly woman living in the car with them, so called to put in a welfare check on the grandmother mother. She couldn't tell at the time, because it's incredibly unsafe conditions for anybody, but especially someone in elder conditions, because it just sitting for a long time can cause your body to deteriorate at that age. So the community mental health outreach went to check in, and apparently it took them like 10 minutes to get out of the vehicle. I'm not sure as to why exactly it took them 10 minutes out. You can make your guesses. If anyone has any information, let me know. As of 11/2/24, they're still parked outside, and the city has areas for houseless people to park and use the restroom. They just have not gone there. They just are still staying in the same place. The city did not ask them to move. Squid still has to go past them every day to go into work. So just kind of a stalemate of a situation. There's also, work assistance, housing, education. These things are all apparently available, because it's been wondered if there's going to be even just all sorts of claims as to why they can't do what they can do. And so she provides the ample support lists that are actually available in their area, which kudos to that town for having that stuff available to people in need. Those look like great resources. Then there began claims online that Squid planted trash in her room, but it had her own handwriting on it, and it was also a document from Harvard, but written in her handwriting addressed to herself. And it's like, I promise you, any letter that you're getting from Harvard is not going to look like that handwriting style. And then she complains about the cost of living, but does not work, is in the situation, and apparently her younger brother, who is also homeless and a couch surfer, pays all of her bills that he can and feeds her, all while being able to not take care of himself. Which I can't imagine being in that situation and then trying to drag my brother through it even worse, taking advantage of him so he couldn't get ahead. From what I can tell of the Reddit, she's now been demonetized. And since all of this has been going on and she's been getting so much backlash and flack suddenly, now she is taking to just straight up slamming other homeless creator, just I don't even know, attacking them for all sorts of stuff. It didn't even look like worth looking into, just because it's just all sorts of wild claims, this, that, clearly just trying to deflect the situation and gain views again. But really just didn't seem worth looking into. Now, this is actually a situation of somebody in a shitty situation who is utilizing the opportunity to get TikTok fame and basically just freeload and use people. All the while not doing anything personally to improve their situation. This is basically what everybody was accusing Callie the Flower Girl, Spider Lily, of doing when she was stuck in her living situation. And I want to go ahead and point out a major difference in these two scenarios that really, to me, acknowledges that Callie wasn't playing y'all like Tofu is. Because Callie's claim to fame was cleaning talk. Literally already trying to clean their situation. Tofu used a green screen to try and cover the nastiness so that nobody could see it and continue to rake in and get appreciation, attention, and stuff like that. Tofu's immediate response to call out and bash and hate another creator. Not even really hating on the person that actually exposed her, because there's nothing really there to do. It's she just, you try and say that you're going to call the cops on her stuff. It's stop exposing you and things like that. It's there's nothing there for you to be mad about. But you're just being mean to this other girl or guy. I don't even know who you're talking about. It says Jasmine, so that's my bad for assuming a name. You are just immediately showing your colors as a terrible person. That's not how you do that. Callie immediately, started to acknowledge things that she could of, no, I gotta work on this, stuff like that. There's been a whole big coming out reveal of stuff. Again, if you guys are interested in this sort of stuff, I highly recommend you checking out that video. And if you were the type of person that was like, oh my god, I want to help them out, I want to donate to their situation, donate to Callie. Go check her out and help her situation. Go follow her and watch all her cleaning talk videos. Much better use of your time than scrolling through tofu. Yeah, that's probably about all I have on this situation. I might do an update if any more comes about, but currently she's still just living in the parking lot and nothing's really been done. So stay tuned. Have a great day. Bye, guys.